Hello, thank you for viewing this presentation. My name is Francisca Anene. The title of this presentation is Triumph of Technology, an exploration of the impact of online facilitation on those students' participation and performance before, during, and after the COVID-19 lockdown in Nigeria. Now, NOUN is the only single mode open and distance learning institution in Nigeria. And at this point, what NOUN practices is technology enhanced learning. So we apply information and communication technologies to teaching and learning as a means of replicating and supplementing existing teaching methods, learning and teaching. But you see, technology enhanced learning is a means to an end. It's not about the numbers, it's not about what you're able to do with communication, information, and communication technology. The whole point of technology enhanced learning is learning outcomes. So, is learning better? Are students learning better? Are teachers teaching better? That's what we want to know about, the impact of technology. In Nigeria, the COVID-19 crisis started in 2020 and it was a major issue, right? And from March to August, there was no movement, there was total lockdown. Of course, a very significant number of university students couldn't go to school, and many institutions lost an academic year. However, that was not a problem in the National Open University of Nigeria because we already had online facilitation in place and students were able to take part in facilitation, and for those that wanted, there were also arrangements made for virtual exam. Now, online facilitation in National Open University didn't start in 2020. It actually started before 2020, in 2019 actually. But before then, what we had was face-to-face facilitation in study centers. However, not every study center could cater for, all their students. For instance, where students are very few, let's say you have maybe two law students, facilitation for law courses, some law courses may be lacking. And of course, that has a negative impact on student learning outcomes and of course the general goal of open and distance. Now in National Open University before 2020, right, online facilitation commenced in 2019, the last quarter of 2019. That was the first time. And it was actually, like you will say, a test run. So it was just one course that was facilitated by each facilitator. And of course, participation was not very good from the students' end. Of course, there will be many reasons for that. There's the issue of getting used to technology. Even from the teaching end, there's the issue of course, maybe not being able to carry everyone along and all of that. But after COVID-19, particularly after the lockdown, there was facilitation in March, April 2020, between March and April during the lockdown. This time, two courses were facilitated and participation improved among students. You could say, okay, maybe it's because of the lockdown, but yes, participation did improve. And then thereafter, right, we also have online facilitation every semester now, okay, and all courses are being facilitated. So in 2021 you had facilitation in the first semester between April and May, and then between September and October in the second semester. Participation is better, right? More courses, in fact all courses are available for facilitation now. What are the goals? Now, what do we hope to achieve by facilitation? Of course, better learning outcomes, improve the grades, a deeper understanding of concepts, convenience for our students who work so they can still learn and at their own pace, the opportunity to connect with their facilitators and get difficult concepts explained and understood, and to interact, of course, with. Now, this study was done looking strictly at law students. We wanted to examine the relationship between our students' participation in online facilitation and their performance, right? So the things we are looking at are their results, their learning outcomes, ability to understand the concepts that are taught, and then the general learning experience. And the methodology we used was to interview students. We selected two courses, one which has always been facilitated from 2019 when online facilitation started, and the second which has also always been facilitated from 2020. And one was a core course and the other was an elective course. Now we sent out messages to all the students who took those courses and asked them to take part. And out of 137 students that got the email, 11 responded that they were interested, and 10 we were able to schedule interviews with 10 of them at their convenience. And so this presentation represents, the data we gathered from that process, and a reflection of my experience as a facilitator of these particular law courses. For confidentiality reasons, I will not be stating the courses, the names of the courses. Okay. So let me talk about my observations first of all. Now, though it has gradually improved, live participation by students in the Zoom online facilitation is still quite low. It could be better. However, looking at Zoom analytics, you find that even though students may not come and attend live at the time that you're taking the course, many students go back and view, you know, the recordings, because when we facilitate, we provide the recordings, right? They go back and view, and some even download. And I gave my students the option of always sending me their questions by email. So sometimes you receive emails, students asking you to explain something or the other, or taking part in the next class so they can ask their questions. Okay. Now, some of the things that we found out from our interviews is that first, grades of students improved as a result of online facilitation. They understand the concepts better. It's more convenient for them. And of course, they welcome the opportunity to interact with their facilitators. Also, they expressed the problems they had with, the online facilitation and the impact on their learning outcomes. So we could say yes, pass mark, technology triumphed, but let's look at it in detail. Is improved grades. All 10 students who participated in this study stated that their grades improved. I'm just going to read out two. So one said, I wrote the course 2 times. The second time I was reading to pass. I didn't put the same effort, but still made the same grade. So Zoom made it better for me. And then the second said, there is a difference. My grade has improved. My 200 and 100 level grades were bad. I didn't fail, but this semester I made 2 A's, 2 B's, and 1 C. If I had been like this, I would have done better. It has improved in every area. I'm begging for them to do online facilitation in all courses. Now, as to understanding of concepts, the respondents also indicated that they understand concepts better. One, they have the opportunity to have these concepts explained to them. And for law that has some technical terms, they are able to understand what these terms mean, how to say them, how to pronounce them, and everything. And then they are better able to relate the content of their course material to practical life, which is very important for law, because the study of law is study to live. Okay. This is what two students also said. I really can't compare the two of them. With online, it's like I read it, let me give it to them the way they gave it to us in the book, the way they wrote it. Sometimes we don't know what we are writing. Someone explaining it to you with practical examples is so much better, and the facilitation made it so real. I learned many lessons from my own life. It is quite different when you are taught and when you read on your own. And another student said, I have always wanted to study law. Online facilitation improved my confidence as a lawyer to be. Professional terms that I could not pronounce with confidence, I now can. Third learning outcome, to convenience, right? Remember, we said that for now, many of our students work, so it's important that they are able to learn. In fact, our motto is learn from any place at your pace, okay? And it also was a positive. Students are able to learn at their pace from any place. And they find that for them, the risk associated with transportation and all of that is completely eliminated. And they enjoy the fact that they can view past lesson recordings and download and all of that. And to them, the cost of data to do this is not commensurate. Another quote. Someone said, cost of data is not a discouragement. This is education, and there are sacrifices you will make. If you were in a conventional university, you will pay transport. Convenience is a better option. I'll better sit at home and learn there. This is education. You can't get it for free. So, and to opportunities for interaction, students enjoy the fact that they can put a face to the name, they can ask their questions and all of that. However, for them, the advantage is more on interaction with their facilitators because they say they have other avenues to interact with their peers. So they didn't really take part in online facilitation to interact peers. And of course, students also expressed, their problems with taking part and how it has impacted on their learning outcomes. So for some, the fact there's a lack of information on when facilitation will take place and all that. If there's a rescheduling and all of that, they don't know. And then many of them were not taught how to use the Zoom platform, so it was a bit difficult for them at first. Okay, and then some say it's difficult to follow some facilitators because of their style of delivery. So there's also the issue with network fluctuations. Of course, we know in this part of the world we still have those issues, both at the facilitators end and the students end. And then the cost of data for some is also a major issue because many students still cannot afford the cost of data, internet enabled phones and computers and all of that, and this impacts on National Open University of Nigeria's social justice mandate to reach. So let's look at the possible solutions, right? Data could be provided, students could be supported with data cost effectively. Arrangements could be made with internet service providers to provide cheaper data just for students for facilitation purpose. And then, of course, more information should be provided, and actually, that is now management policy. More information is provided. Students have access to the timetable. If timing is going to be rescheduled, emails are sent beforehand. And of course, now every student has an institutional email which they are obliged to check at least once every day so they get information. And of course, training. Now students take part in what we call them the learning content management the directorate takes them through orientation on online facilitation. The same is also done for facilitators. There's some training. However, more could be done on instructional delivery. And then significantly, the Nigerian Communication Commission is now providing, United Universal Service Provision Fund enable connectivity, internet connectivity in specific study centers and the national headquarters. This would help students to be able to access internet when they are within that location. But of course, there's the issue of convenience again. It will mean that students will have to travel down to be able to. So, what's the conclusion? Our conclusion is that the goals were mostly achieved. So, yes, technology did triumph, online facilitation has a positive impact on students' learning outcomes, both in terms of grade, understanding, and their experience. Well, cost is still an issue, but for some students, online facilitations has advantages that outweigh the cost implications. And measures have been put into place to ameliorate the issue of cost and other barriers that students have highlighted. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them to my email that is displayed on your screen right now, and I'll be happy to schedule a question and answer session. Okay, and I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for taking part in this and helping by viewing my video. It's been nice talking about this. Was a very interesting study for me, and I'm hoping that this will spur more research into this area. Thank you very much.